that I've derived through a differentially private process. Our best attempt at that, or we think our best chance at doing that, is learning the parameters of some model of the topology of a graph. Noise will be added to those model parameters, but then I'll publish the model parameters. I don't have to just publish a sample. If I learn the model parameters privately, I'll just publish the model. And then the analyst can generate as many sample graphs as they want, study them. There will be error in that analysis, and we'll have to measure that, and we'll have to relate that to the error in the model parameters. But that's kind of where we're headed. We think maybe we'll get the best of both worlds from that technique. Okay, so I'm going to skip this. The last thing I'll mention is that this paradigm for using the standard differentially private construction, but capitalizing on constraints to improve accuracy, we've used this for other stuff. So not just the degree sequence, but other histogram queries. And we've shown that it can improve accuracy for other tasks. And we think that it's a promising technique that has some more generality. So that's a paper that's going to appear in PVLDB next year. I'll end with that and invite any questions. Thanks for your attention. Yeah, hi.
So I have two questions actually. The first one is, this whole literature assumes fairly static audience who is not actively aware of the publication of data and therefore doesn't change their behavior accordingly. But hypothesize that maybe the participants in the network are, at least some of them, are privacy sensitive. And so they are told ahead of time that what gets published is the anonymized, naively anonymized. They could presumably change and create links to hide in a bigger crowd, so to speak. Become less distinguishable. Can you speculate on this ability to hide in a crowd, by modify your behavior to hide in a crowd? Is this impaired or enhanced, or it doesn't matter by the extra techniques that you use of noise injection and all of that? What effect would it have?
Well, let's see. So I can speculate on anything because it's speculation, right?
That's all we can ask.
Right. So, so I think with our techniques, it would be very difficult to mount a re-identification attack based on structure. I mean, so we're not publishing a graph right now. We're just publishing a degree distribution right now. But if we carry forth the work and publish synthetic networks, those should be, if I'm satisfying K epsilon differential privacy, then I'm publishing results that are insensitive to any addition or deletion of up to K edges. So that's one point to make. I mean, the other point is that, I guess a lot of the anonymization techniques are trying to distort the graph to create structural similarity. I guess what you're pointing out is that you could do this as a participant in the network.
Self-defense.
Yeah, as a means of self-defense. And
no matter what you publish, I'm not assuming naive. It could be degree sequence.
Yeah,
it could be suitably modified.
Yeah, I think that I think that we'd like to be able to guarantee that a user that's not necessary. And I think it's not necessary if there's this wrinkle here about K edge differential privacy. So the fact is that if for a fixed K, I'm offering a different protection to low degree nodes than I'm offering to high degree nodes, because the degree of low degree node should be completely sort of obscured by under K edge differential privacy. And this is a bit of a departure from the standard setting, but I don't see a way around it. So I still think that, actually we did some experiments which show that the maximum degree in a graph is so low that you can turn that K parameter up to nearly the maximum degree and still get accurate degree sequences out, which is somewhat surprising. So you can get almost node level protection even for the highest degrees. At some point you have to argue about whether it's reasonable to try to protect outliers. Hubs, the very highest degree nodes in a graph, some people can argue sort of everyone knows who they are. Maybe a significant percentage of the people connect to them in the population. So how can they be hidden? And so you can make, these are more sociological arguments about what privacy standards are okay in the population, but I don't know. So I've speculated broadly in response to your question. Sorry if I didn't answer it. So did you have another question? Or?
Well, I was going to ask you also whether there's any literature over that takes snapshots over time and it makes inferences based on that.
Yeah.
For example, that you could have someone who is so wildly difficult that from one snapshot to the next they've lost so many friends that you could say, oh, this has got to be Joe right there.
Right, right. Yeah, there are subtleties there. Yeah, in fact, some of your collaborators here at Purdue have done some initial work in the framework of k-anonymity on these sequential releases of data, and there are subtleties there. I think the differentially private model is robust to some formulations of problems like that. So I mean, if you're worried about a single edges, I mean, you can let your database evolve and continue to ask questions, and noise is added, and it should protect edges, even edges that are changing. I mean, of course, you run into the problems that your privacy budget gets exhausted, potentially, under differential privacy. So eventually, you have to stop asking questions where the noise is just, noise keeps increasing. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, let's thank the speaker once more.
Thank you.